So sis, I wanted to make you a little video to suggest you try maybe other type of characters, such as Annie, for example. Annie is a mage, and it's one of the most basic gameplays in the game, because all her spells are almost only damage. So it's not really hard to understand. Her passive makes her able to stun any enemy with her next spell. Once she casts 4 spells, this is just damage, and if you kill with it, well, you get the mana back. This is AoE damage, zone. This is a sort of like armor that gives a little bit armor and magic resist, and allows you to DPS people that attack you. And this is Tibbers. It's a bear. Flaming bear is the thing you see behind. And when it appears, it does huge damage, and then just like DPSs everything around him. It's sort of like the Infernal in Warcraft 3, if you know. Well, it just burns everything near it. So there. So it's a cheap character. She has 450 IP, so it's not really expensive. Runes, forget runes. It's not for your level yet. As a master is, I know you're level 5, so I would suggest this thing, which allows you to back faster, so you take less risks and so on. If you're in a tight spot, it's kind of useful. I'd suggest the mana, because, well, you're going to have mana problems, because you're a beginner and so on. And as your last point, I would suggest maybe, I don't really know, your low-level stuff. It's not really important. How about this, just for the potions or something? Who cares, it's not important. There. So this is what I suggest you do, is that you use the item set, you create a new one, you call it like whatever, who cares, and so these are the items you're going to need. So the first item you'll need is the Doran's ring with the totem. Where's the totem? There. And you're going to need health and mana potions more or less all the time. So when you start, buy the Doran's ring and 2 HP potions. And when you back, it would be nice if you could buy basic boots and, okay, whatever. So the basic boots, and then you need to try to buy this thing. It's in mana and HP. So there. And once you have it, if you can, use it to finish buying this thing. It gives you mana, it gives you HP, it gives you ability power, so damage on your spells. And it gives you, well, this thing will give you regen every time you level up, which is quite nice, and it makes you a little bit more tanky, so these are the nice items. The catalyst is going to be converted into a particular thing, or the ages in English. Once you have this, you might want, since you're a beginner and you're going to take risks and damage, to buy more HP and most importantly, boots. So you're an AP, so you need sorcerer boots. There. So the boots and the relay scepter. Which means by this point you're going to have lots of HP, a little bit of AP, and a little bit of mana, which should be pretty nice. The problem is you're going to need damage now, because you're supposed to be a mage and kill people. This is why you get this thing now. That gives you 120 AP, which with the other items gives you 180, so total is 300, and it's out by 30%, which means 400 AP. So your spells are going to dish out a little bit of nice evil damage. Once you arrive here, you might want to lower enemy resist, because if they start stacking resist, well, you're going to have low damage. Which means you need, where is it there, white stuff. It lowers enemy armor, magic resist. Armor and magic resist aren't the same, but whatever. Magic resist, and once you arrive at this point, well, usually people like to go for the Zonya. They buy it before, usually, before the white stuff, because the Zonya enables you, once you use it, to be invulnerable to everything in the game for 2.5 seconds, but you can't move. So suppose there's an enemy that's using huge damage on you or something, and you activate this thing just so you don't die and your friends kill it or something. It's just a little bit of protection, whatever. and there's 120 AP on it. There's AP here also, which means by this point you're going to be like, I don't know, something like 700 AP, which means just the fireball is going to do something like, I don't know, 600 damage, maybe more. So there you go. Arrived at this point, you're supposed to have, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, of course, you need to sell the Doran's ring at some point, because, well, it's crappy, but it's useful in the beginning. So arrived at this point, you're supposed to have 6 items. Doran's ring isn't in the 6 items. So what you're going to need to buy is the elixirs, which will apply after, on top of the items. They won't count the inventory. And you're going to need to upgrade the ward. The best one is the pink, I guess, because it allows you to see invisible people and it lasts forever, so even if you die it's still going to be there and so on. And by this point you'll have something like 800 AP, I don't know, something like 3,300 HP, and which means you're going to be sort of like kind of tanky and have huge damage. So you're going to be using there. So I hope this is going to be useful for you. For the spells, I'd recommend the Ghost, since you don't have Flash yet, and maybe the Health. It's useful anyway, you can use it on other people and so on. Maybe the Mana if you really think you're going to have mana problems. There. So there you go, that's for Annie. I'll just do another video just after